This is how to replace one of these old outlets with one of these new ones. And this is dealing with electric, so as always, you do this at your own risk. Before you even take off the plate that's on here, make sure that you turn off the breakers. Right now I have all the breakers off in the house except for the air conditioning, so that it don't burn up in here, and because the air conditioning is on a separate circuit from everything else in the house. So this is going to be dead. You can also get a little tester that you stick inside of the plug to make sure that the power's off. So first thing, I don't have the old cover here, but it's going to have one screw in the middle. You unscrew that with a flathead. Then you can use a drill or an impact gun. You're going to unscrew these two bolts that hold the plug into the box. And you want to grab it from each tab right here and pull it out. What you got to do now is, it depends on who installed the plug. Usually they will wrap the wire around the bolts, but they didn't do that here. They're in the back. I'm not sure what they're called. I think they're called push tabs. So there's this thing behind or underneath the wire. What I've been doing is using my little thing on my tester here, my power tester. Just press it in there. You gotta shove it in there pretty hard. And then see, the wire will come out. It's odd that this wire's got some corrosion on the end. Do the same thing on this one over here, the hot wire. Press this in until it comes out. Okay. And the ground wire just popped right off. And when you install these plugs, see how these bolts are gold colored and these are silver? When you're looking at the outlet, the right side is always where you put the hot wire, and this side is where you put the neutral wire. This wire's got some paint on it, but it's black. This is the hot wire, or positive, and this is the white wire, or neutral. Then the bare wire with no insulation is the ground wire, which goes on the green screw right there. Sometimes you might see a ground wire that actually has the green insulation on it, so that wire will be green. But that's usually not in outlet boxes, that's in applications outside. What you want to do is, since these wires have a little tarnish on them and this one's corroded a little bit, you want to clean that off and make the copper shiny again. This is all I got on me right now. Even if you got sandpaper, you could get a little piece of sandpaper and rub it on here, and that would shine up the copper too. After you clean up the wires, if you have to, take the plugs. You don't have to screw them in, but if the box in the wall happens to be a steel box, which I think is stupid because they can conduct electricity, then I would recommend that you screw these bolts in. So I'm just going to use the push tabs. I'm taking the black hot wire, pressing it in up here. You can put it down here too, but I usually put it on the top. Make sure it goes in all the way where the insulation contacts the plug. Do the same thing for the neutral wire, the white wire. Plug that in up here. And you're going to hook up the ground wire. Just grab it and bend it around the green screw. Snug up the green screw. Now you gotta carefully guide the wires back into the box, and you have to make sure they bend correctly. So it's okay to bend the wires a little bit. Now, actually, this one I don't think I really have to do anything. And screw back in these bolts. Don't go too tight with it. You want to make it where it's flush on the drywall. Now what I might do is, well, not yet. What I might do here is when I put it in, I'll turn it a little bit to try to straighten it out some more. So see, it still needs to be tightened up some more. This one might have a little bit of an issue because they didn't leave enough drywall around the box for this to grab onto, top and bottom. And make sure you always get the unbreakable covers. Don't buy those old-fashioned cheap covers. You could put it on here, go like this, and it'll just break in pieces. Definitely not good, especially if you have little kids. They could end up breaking that thing and then touching one of those screws in there and getting zapped. You don't want that. Now you want to tighten up the screws. You want to get them snug but not too tight. Another thing with those old covers I was telling you about, that break real easy. If you tighten the screw too much, the cover will break. When you get the screws snug, you want to have them where the line runs up and down like that. See how there's a little play in there? That's no good. When that happens, you have to take the cover off and tighten up that bolt some more and mess with it until you get it where it's not going to move around. That's better. It's about as good as it's gonna get. When I was editing this video, I found out that there's an issue with the hot wire there. You can see the copper. So of course, my eyes were above the wire nut, but the camera was below it, so it picked it up. So I'm just gonna take off this wire nut and see what's going on here. Probably what happened is it's just the way the wires wrapped. They didn't wrap evenly, so the copper is exposed underneath the nut. Or the wire got loose. Again, make sure the power is off. See, that's what I didn't want to happen. This wire came off. Now you can pull it up some and then wrap it with the others. See, that's much better. Put the wire nut back on. Now you won't have any more copper wire exposed underneath the wire nut. Bend that, put it back in. And also, see the plug right here where the copper's coming out? You want to straighten that out and then it'll go back in. You want to give this a little bit of a bend right here. That side a bend too, so that when it goes in there, they stay straight inside the outlet. Then you just reinstall it like I showed you before in the video. And there you go, that's how you can install a receptacle. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell. If you have any suggestions for future videos, leave a comment.